Begin?
Yes.
Okay, we're ready. So this is our first meeting between the Browning Public Schools and the Browning Federation of Teachers. Sandy Rivas, myself, and Wagner and Bev Sinclair will be representing the Board of Trustees. However, at any point, they also may join our session. If you'd like to introduce yourself. We also have, Cicely will be taking our notes for us. In lieu of the board clerk, Carlene Adamson, we will have Cicely taking our board minutes for these sessions.
And I'm Dana Bremner.
I'm Violet Sinclair. I am the Federation of Teachers. I am the secretary.
My name is John Bradley.
So I guess one of the things that we'd like to start out with is just establishing some ground rules for our negotiations. One of them being to establish a consistent meeting schedule as much as possible, meeting schedule time, and the expectation of being present and prompt when a meeting session is held. Is there a time, is there a day of the week that, or every other week that would be agreeable?
Any day but
Wednesday
Wednesdays.
That is under the current collective bargaining agreement as an allocated time.
It's hard because we all have varying schedules. So until we know what the next agreed upon date is, and then we can look at our schedules and confer, it's hard to just commit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or Tuesdays? Tuesdays work probably best for me. Sometimes she has stuff scheduled,
Yeah, sometimes I have webinars scheduled
so it just depends.
4 to 5.
And it seems like if you wanted to do, if the question was weekly or bi-weekly, I think I would prefer bi-weekly, just to have that time in the middle to meet and plan.
Would Tuesday bi-weekly work for? Maybe.
I would have to check my schedule.
Mhm.
And then, because some of it was with OPI and MAST, they only do their stuff from 4 to 5.
Okay.
So I would have to look and see if anything is scheduled. I know they've got workshops scheduled every other Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
But I don't remember Tuesdays.
And then in April, we have a Tuesday union meeting coming up.
And I thought I did.
So that's gonna be from 3:30 to probably 4:30.
Okay.
So depending on where the bi-weekly lands.
All right.
Do you know what that one is gonna be?
Let me go get my calendar.
Yeah, Tuesday will be,
Calendar.
no, she's the one with the calendar,
I know, she reminds me of Lily. And Lily, Hillfeathers.
right?
Ooh, like, and then Jen Heberner is the same way. I mean, they even got color coded and.
Very organized. I go by this.
Who's talking about me?
In a good way, you and Willie.
Okay, so this is the end of March. So the next one, are you saying it would be in April?
So is your union meeting in April?
It's April 29th.
Oh, the 29th. Okay.
Mhm. It's in the future.
Okay.
Let's see, today's the 18th, April 1st would be the next Tuesday.
Okay. Are we okay to establish that one if that's okay? Okay.
That, are you okay with?
Looking for a butt.
A writing instrument.
Okay, you want this pen? It's a good one.
Can I have it?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's
The week of the 15th is spring break,
Oh, of course.
but if we could go the 22nd.
That sounds good. And then that'll put us, the 29th will be an off week then.
So April 1st and April 22nd? Oops.
Oops. Not that.
And we'll do 2 hours every time.
Yep.
4 to 6.
4 o'clock to 6.
Sounds good.
So April 1st and 22nd.
And then can we set one for May 6th?
Probably not, unless you're gonna.
You
do-
guys have, well, I don't know about
Oh,
Eight-
election.
eighth
Oh,
grade.
yeah.
Eighth grade parent orientation is that night too.
We do have another room you can use. Are you okay with May 6th?
Eighth grade orientation.
Only if I
is
can
that
go
day.
vote.
So you're not eighth grade, though. I mean, you're not freshman, right?
I don't know how they
No,
work
it's not.
anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you guys work anymore, sorry.
It was dry, so yeah.
So May 6th?
All right.
We'll probably have to get a different note taker.
Yeah.
I'll take her that night, yes.
We'll see as things go.
Yeah.
Right now we have one.
What are you doing?
Having elections, how I wear sometimes also. There's some, that county.
April 15th.
April 1st, April
22nd.
22nd.
Oh, 22nd.
The 15th is spring break
And May 6th.
and May 6th.
And April 1st is not a joke. We are going for it.
That's one of my best friend's birthdays.
I asked
At
somebody
first I
today.
thought it was a joke. I was like, are you serious? That's your birthday? May 6th, okay.
The second thing that I want to establish is, I would like these sessions to remain professional in terms of, it's not personal in regard to, your individual salaries or my individual salary. This is a collective bargaining among the district, the Board of Trustees, and the Browning Federation of Teachers.
Yep.
And I would like it to remain so throughout the entirety of our negotiations.
I agree.
The third thing is when something is agreed upon at a meeting, it needs to be agreed upon, not returned at the next meeting and renegotiated.
Do you want me to send out the invite for these next meetings?
That would be great.
So they'll come from me.
Okay, sounds good.
And other than that, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Is there anything you want to bring up?
I brought snacks this time, it's your turn next time.
Okay, we'll bring snacks. Definitely. bring snacks.
Make sure there's a dark chocolate in there.
It's just to set a few other expectations, not regarding procedure and process, but just to give you some information of some goals we are trying to work towards on the district side. The House Bill 252, the STARS Act, is something we are working towards. It is an additional payment to the district on the quality educator side that allows us to support our salary schedule. To be able to implement it, we have to have something agreed upon by May 15th.
No, we do not.
We have to have an MOU in place. We
No, we
don't. Everything that I understand is that we do.
We don't. We don't have to have an MOU in place. The district needs to make sure you guys say that you're willing to, but the MOU can come afterwards. That's what we're getting on our end.
So what we're getting on our end is that we have to submit to
Yeah, I know.
OPI.
That's why they're sending
documentation.
notices out to us about.
MOU. So,
Carol.
and we can clarify that. We will clarify that, but that is what we are trying to work towards because we want that for our students, for our teachers. And in fact, we were already working towards that in last year's negotiated agreement.
Right.
So that is something we're working towards. Through
So just
this,
to clarify that really quick, it says districts must commit to hitting thresholds in the STARS Act by May 15th. But the CBAs do not have to be finalized by this time,
okay.
or
but-
MOUs.
But the requirement of that commit, it needs to be defined what that is. So we need to define on the district side what that is or have it defined for us. Because if it is something that has to be approved by our trustees,
Right.
we need to be prepared to do that by that 1st of May meeting.
Right.
So it can be submitted.
So are there like certain thresholds that relate to our contract or like, I guess I guess maybe I don't know enough about this.
The
Maybe,
Stars Act, it's financial,
I understand that,
it's
but
a salary part, so that's probably something that we'll have to look at the next.
so there's like targets we need to hit within our contract that makes us qualify for the Stars
There are
Act?
targets we have to hit within our salary matrix.
Oh,
We already meet them
okay,
with our current salary matrix.
okay.
We just don't have the language in it that shows we are in compliance of it.
Interesting. Do we know what that language looks like?
We have some input from MTSBA of what the language should look like. Yeah.
Okay,
So the invites have been sent out right now.
okay, thank you. And this is just funding for 1 year, correct?
No.
The Stars Act?
Is it 13?
It's actually 12 years.
Can you share that language with us?
Yeah, I can share that language with you. What we have is a sample MOU. And actually I have it in here.
Cool.
We have a draft to share with you. So yes, what it is the law is 12 years, and for each year, we have to meet compliance of the STARS Act.
Okay.
So there are
Sounds good.
thresholds each year. It gradually increases. Yep. In addition to that, in addition to our CBA, and then another goal that I would like to implement is also be able to take to the board at the end of this process, the MOUs that we've had in place the last couple of years, at the same time for those hard to fill positions. With just a few changes. TRS is giving us some pushback on that independent contractor status. And we want to be in compliance with that. And so, Shelley and I had met last week, Dana, and she CC'd that email to you.
Sorry about that. I didn't realize we were meeting.
So, we had sent a couple emails and you,
I know.
yeah.
I was trying to catch up with everything work wise.
Yeah. So we had met and drafted it and then she shared it with you. And so you and I can need to get it to like further along. In addition to
That's in
that,
relation to the iTutor.
No,
yeah,
this is the
Oh, like,
speech,
okay. There it
those
is.
positions
we already have the computer one. But yeah,
for this year.
for the year. But at the end of this process, I would like to be able to take that one to the board as well. For those special education positions, because we are not getting applicants. So
We'll have to talk about that one
so,
because there's some stuff that's popping up over those district wide.
okay, all right, well, so those are some things that I'd like to have as goals on this process. So we had gone through the master contract. We have some written proposals, things on the district side.
Yeah, I have this sort of.
Thank you.
It's time you do it. We did it too.
He resent it.
The very last. Okay, so that's something.
So if you'd like, we could just start page by page. Is that okay? Or would you like a minute to look at it?
Let's take a minute to look at it.
Okay. It's not like invites it to the trustees.
This is weird.
Thanks. Okay. I just don't realize that.
It's just, I think that is just a time.
It is just a typo.
Yeah,
The lane, click number.
5.
Mhm.
How do we never catch that? 6.
It went 3, 5, 6, yeah.
Was there an old salary scale for nurses? Do we
I,
know?
I don't know.
They used to be just included with everybody at
So
one
it's
point.
still the same as,
So this is the same.
okay, I'm just wondering history wise, was there
I don't know. if
for
it
them
was
to
the-
have two
correct.
different numbers? Made me kind of curious, were there other lanes that we didn't, not aware of?
No, they were just included right with, with everybody, I believe.
Okay. Is that the last one? What are you thinking? How far out are we going with this contract? What is your idea?
I would like to do a 3-year. Are you okay with the 3-year?
I'm okay with the 3-year. Are you guys okay with the 3-year?
No, I want to do it year by year in case I retire and my salary goes up. Just kidding. Just kidding.
So you're saying to 28 or 29?
29, that'd be 3 years.
This would be.
So 25, 26.
26, 27, 28, 29.
29. Okay. Just making sure we have the same
No,
clarification.
no, 25, 26,
27,
26, 27, 27, 28.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So good clarification. We can go for it.
4 years.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to, but
Well, yeah, we asked about,
We asked that
actually,
question.
and, the guy,
There's
because I asked,
changes.
I said, is there any benefit to doing with a 5-year contract? And, they said sometimes due to inflation and just unknown, sometimes that's a long agreement to be in.
Yeah.
And so
And I was like, okay, I never heard of that.
the recommendation was that
3 years.
3 was the best.
And that's what it's always been in the past. It just wasn't, we changed it this last year.
it just feels like we get into it and then all of us, now we're negotiating. it.
Again.
Well, yeah, because we just did.
No, but in
That
the
really was the
past-
reality for this last.
In the
one.
past, though, it felt like that.
Oh, I didn't.
Time's just flying
It's
then.
great. I actually got 2 summers.
So I think for the most part, I mean, there's definitely some discussion points, but if we want to go through it, I think some of them are just pretty straightforward. Getting another set of eyes on it, was helpful. Just the first one being just to remove any specific dates, so that they don't get, overlooked the next time an agreement is established. And so that first one being, entered into this 28th day of August, just removing it and just say the term of this contract. That's defined already.
Where's Article
2019.
19. Yep, it was in 10, 11, 12. It's on
It's the very last.
25.
Okay.
It helps about.
Okay, when you have the language there.
Where you, I think it's where you sign it.
Yes, it's on that page,
Oh, I see.
that final page.
This agreement will be in effect from.
See that?
Until June 30th of 28, right?
Yeah. Rather than have it in multiple.
Yeah.
I do.
No, it's okay.
But. 28 or 29?
28,
We did?
26,
It'll be.
No, it'll be
June of
3
28.
years.
Okay.
3 full school years. Is that agreeable?
Hold on.
Yeah.
We need to meet and confer.
So do we want to go through them all, or do we want to pick one at a time, or?
Well, I mean,
We have time, we
We
can
have
go
time.
through it,
Yeah.
but I don't wanna start just agreeing until we meet. and
Oh, I
confirm
understand.
everything.
Oh,
Does that make
I
sense?
get what you're saying.
okay. Yeah, so
Okay.
we can give you some time to meet.
All right,
So we're talking about the 3 year.
Well, right now we've got the 3 year.
Do you just want to take some time just to review and just
Yeah,
talk
let's do
about
that.
the written proposals? Because this is our written proposal. to
okay,
you
that is your room,
Of
okay.
our changes. that
And then
like
we
to
have
see.
2 for now.
Okay.
Copies here. I gave you those copies, right?
Yeah, I can do my
Okay.
copies that way.
No, it's okay, I didn't staple them, but there's 3 right there.
Okay.
2 pages per.
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
I can go make another copy,
is
because
this
we need 1,
2
2,
pages
3.
is the whole thing?
Mhm.
So if I give one
For now,
to Cecily
yes.
for the board, then I'll make some extra copies for the 4 of us.
we'll have more at our next.
Okay, we're good.
We just weren't sure what you guys would come with, and we thought figured we'd just not bombard you. Do you guys want to meet in right now?
Sure.
Okay.
There's 4 more macadamian things there. You gotta go eat them, guys. We can go to my office, John.
It's so good to see. It's good to hear about this. Incredible.
So is that what these meetings entail? Will they go back and forth to?
Sometimes, and so this will stay recording while we are in here.
And they'll leave and go talk in,
Or we will.
No,
or
we
you guys
can't,
will?
we can't,
We can't, we have to stay here.
we can't.
Okay, well, we did last year.
Yeah.
But
But
good to know.
My head is not attached.
today,
Lights are on, nobody's home.
Eva?
That's my favorite saying. Every morning when I walk in here.
I thought there was a portion where they did say we could at least take, they could give us a chance to.
I'm gonna throw one of these gummy bears at
we
you.
can't leave the room. We can meet her further within the room.
But you guys can't leave?
But we can kick you out.
I'm leaving. I just had to grab a gummy bear.
Yes, but you gotta remember, this is set, so if the board was here.
Would it just be for the elected officials only or would that pertain to you guys as well?
Yeah,
In what sense?
because it's an open meeting and the board could be, any number of them could walk in and be here.
Oh, I know that, then they would meet the quorum, but for you guys as the non-elected positions, you guys can't.
I thought we could at least, they could give us the chance to, but I don't remember.
Where do you find the meeting rules?
So this one, we had a training, I think we got it from MTSBA, and then negotiator.
So it wouldn't fall under like the regular MCA, the open meeting laws there?
Because we weren't doing that. We also weren't taking, having somebody else do those, so.
But they are on a. Maybe. I have my, just thought, but they're on in.
It's weird because I got page 2, 3, 4, 5. Things are page 1.
I don't think so.
I just have the number wrong.
I think they're this number.
Okay. Maybe that's their thought. You're unbelievable. But where's this definition? Yeah. Yeah. Thinking. This means if I have teachers over 10 years. I have to take that. That's the whoever we need to how much class that we're going to do. Needs to know. Each building has some way of spending. Yeah.
She has to bring all her sugar up in here, so I grabbed my cheese.
Isn't that horrible?
Just rude.
And they live together. So inconsiderate.
Right. Plus, in my estimation, there's an added benefit. It's like a toy.
Yeah, extra lay, it's like a Russian doll.
This one
Or
says.
packed measure.
It's-
Who's eating who?
and it says financial. And there's the nothing in the time, the evaluation will take the evaluation should not include.
Our technical professional, are they on a contract too?
Not in a.
Not a bargaining
They're
unit.
not in a bargaining, collective bargaining.
We do have contracts.
Oh, all four of you guys, huh?
Yep.
Sheesh, must be nice.
Other people, other than the principals, do evaluations?
No, in here it defines, principal / supervisor. And I think they just want to define it as the principal or assistant principal instead of supervisor. So it really just aligns with what we have.
Mhm.
So then does that mean?
That wouldn't even make sense for this.
This should be Brown School District 9. Really.
They left it there.
Yeah, we did. Oh, this is the original language.
Oh, and this is what they want to, I see that too.
Number 9 on page 3, would we really want that language in the contract? No use of eavesdropping, hearsay, television, public address or audio systems.
We've never.
No, part of that's illegal, right?
I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I want to check on that one. I don't know.
That's how we.
But there are. Surveillance devices? Is public address social media?
I would think so. But this is saying about their evaluation, not.
But in the evaluation, there's professional responsibilities.
Means we can't be watching them through
Right.
a camera or a sound system in a classroom
What if I walk by a room and I hear it?
or
Eavesdropping.
eavesdropping.
Is that eavesdropping?
Mhm,
If we just walked by, it's eavesdropping.
yeah. Or
Yeah,
hearsay.
I
if
better not
someone
bring my
else
glass then.
Do hear.
What if I'm sitting in my office and I hear the same teacher yelling every day and I go in there? That's what prompted me to go in there. I hear the yelling every day.
Mhm. Yeah, well, but is that going to be used in your formal evaluation
It
process?
probably would be. I'm thinking it would. I mean, because then I would go in there, be in there more often.
Well, can it be eavesdropping if you're actually hearing it just sitting in this room and you hear it
Mm-hmm.
2 doors down?
It
How is
would
it
be.
how is it eavesdropping
It's just really good hearing. Well, if the doors close,
and you still can hear it? There's a
because
problem.
but here's, it says within full knowledge of the teacher.
So if they don't know, no, I'm just kidding. If they don't know you're listening.
But that's the thing, is if they don't know I'm listening, that's what they're saying.
So if you
Well,
just
they
let
know your
them know.
office is right next door. Kind of puts it back on them, wouldn't it? Yeah, number 9 is just really a.
To reduce the burden and stress of evaluations by both certified staff and administration. That's the intent.
There are unscheduled evaluations, though. Anytime I,
Scheduled observation, yeah.
oh, did I say evaluation? I meant observation, so
There's 2 a year for new teachers or non-tenured.
Two observations planned, two. One
And I think-
scheduled, one unscheduled.
And that's inclusive of the emergency hires, correct?
I did not know there were tenured teachers. I had no idea.
All of them are.
Once they
After
get their fourth
After their fourth contract.
Once they're offered their fourth contract.
And that's, well, now this one will be like 3 years out, right?
No, when we hire them, their actual contract.
Every teacher, so like if I was hired this year, this would be my first contract, and I get rehired next year, it'd be my second, third, and then when I get my fourth, then I'm tenured.
And they get paid out.
And then you stay tenured unless you leave the district and then come back after a break in service.
Yeah.
We started on, right? Your years of, they may give you 5 years coming in, but that doesn't mean you get tenure.
You're guaranteed that.
You're guaranteed some years of experience, but not
Yeah.
of tenure when you come back.
I love sitting in on these things. The more you know. I mean, that's not necessarily true.
We have to find out from them about that MOU thing. That's not what Andy and them have been telling us. We have to have.
That's not everything that I go to.
So this one says shall be attached to the file copy of the evaluation report. In our evaluation information of the, here it says, it can be sent to, or you can rebut it. Where does it say that? The teacher shall have the right to rebut any points of the disagreement. The rebuttal shall be attached to the written, oh yeah, it still says attached. And forwarded to the superintendent's office rather than HR.
So if I have an issue with the evaluation, it goes to her to make the determination.
No, what I do, I told my staff, you have the opportunity within 14 days to rebut anything that I've written in here or that I've missed.
Mhm.
And they just attach it. If they don't feel comfortable attaching it there, they can send it directly to the superintendent, is what I've said. But what this says was that shall be attached to the written evaluation and forwarded to the superintendent's office. And it doesn't say anything about 14 days.
Oh,
So there's not a time frame.
yeah, because you don't want to give them a year.
Rebecca, there's the time frame to get taken out. It's like a 14. The actual form itself used to say 14 days.
On EPAS.
No, but that one, no. I thought it said 14. It says if you you don't, by signing this document, doesn't mean you agree. It means you receive a copy.
Yeah, because they're just signing that they had it. Agree or not up on their thing, right? You want to teach.
Just unlock the door and I'll lock it back up. Oh, thank you. What is their abbreviations? What are they called?
Browning Federation of Teachers, BFT.
EFT, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know, Lord. I know, it seems like they change it every year. I'm
Really
recording.
quiet in here. We're recording. But you can come in. We're on a phone.
On page 2, number 1, they left principal slash supervisor.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, they're wanting to change that whole language of that section, it looks like.
And they didn't change that piece. Which is kind of different.
For this from Nicole? Yep. That came from Carly. That's been from, yeah. But yeah, that was from Carly. It's changing what the board looks like. If this was what was on board, if this was actually approved, this must be just an error on Carmen's part.
Well, Kelly saying this would be only that much. But if you look at it, it's supposed to be a higher amount than. Like this is the experience, I mean. I say it's supposed to be that, but Kelly's saying it's supposed to be that. So I don't know where to go.
I mean, I think that's his past years. Yeah, we'd have to look at his past years to go from there. Because if this was on board, that was.
And that's what I said. Okay.
He said.
Middle of the day, or we want to tell it. Okay. Just keep it. Yeah.
Eggs from sale at HE.
How much? $5.
$5, yeah, and they're limiting it to.
Did you ever think we'd see the day when a carton of 1 dozen eggs would be
$5.
$18, $20?
Well, let's not forget the toilet paper
Yeah.
epidemic of 2020. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, love you.
Additional development growth in shall set forth this response as going from the way. Progress in any specific deficiencies shall be addressed by the evaluator in subsequent evaluations. Does that mean? So if anybody that's on plan of improvement, that's a 10-year yearly, roughly in 5 years. You should be able to pick up and do the relation. But it's not evaluation, just an evaluator. So then, if I just go around and you're not up for till 5 or 10 years, and I see you're having struggles and I need to, maybe you need some development and growth. You need to define if that's what that means or not.
Just gonna ask that. Is there a certain, are they allowed a certain time limit?
Usually. Deciding on a 3-year. Let's see. We did 2 years for the classified, right? Or do we do 3? So theirs is up next year, so we have to at least get a 2-year out of this. Probably back to negotiating both of them. Same time again. I don't wanna.
And they're just going over removing that date or that?
No, they're
Oh.
going over the whole thing, I believe.
Oh, it was
Oh,
like just
over the whole
the
thing.
removal of the date.
No,
Okay.
they wanted to just review the whole
Yeah.
proposal.
Gotcha. We don't make assumptions, we ask for clarification.
Thank you. And that's what I was wondering about. I just thought it was about the 3 years or not.
Bill, can you contact Sheila, please?
Yeah.
She sent us an email.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was.
Also, I don't think I wrote it down, but will I have it fresh in my mind? Because I don't think I made a sticky note for it. Sheila Hall, remember her Paxis or something? It's like 4:30 or something like that. You still haven't gotten the check. But they did send me another invoice and said they do have an ACH process. So
Did they do the anti-money?
no, that's another thing. Yeah, so I'll resend it to them in the morning. And
We
then,
can't recut it unless they do an indemnity bond.
no, but yeah, resend them the indemnity bond.
Right.
Give it to you. Okay, just so I tell you, because I don't think I wrote it.
Okay, there's still 4 there. You guys were supposed to eat them.
You what?
The macadamias.
Oh,
They shut them over by us for a reason.
I'll freeze too.
Did you want to try one? Did you want to freeze one?
I just do already. I'm good. Thank you though.
5:16.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I got.
The BFP re-entered the building.
I feel like I should start laughing.
Yeah. One time when I was working down in Glacier County, the commissioners got me a shirt or a mug that said, I'm left-handed, but I'm always right.
I've got a sign in my room, in my office, that says something about, and I can't even remember now. Something about being left-handed, but I'm in my right brain. I mean,
5:16, BFT entered the room. Re.
do we want to wait for, Bev?
Bev had to leave. She needed to make a phone call.
Okay. To begin. Okay. We're almost spot on with our skills. It's nice. Actually, when I was reading, I was like, oh.
later we'll get it all cleaned up.
There's a few places.
We weren't sure where to start with that, but good work. Good
Sorry,
work.
I'm saying we might not need all of those dates to meet.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
All right, so do we just want to start on page 4? Are you okay with that? Okay, so the first thing we agreed upon that it is a 3-year term, correct? 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28. Right, and then page 4.
Is that correct, Dana? You
Correct.
stopped yourself for a second,
Well, I was thinking, where's it at on this page?
It's on the first page.
but it was on the.
Oh,
first
okay.
page.
All right.
Yeah, recap, thank you.
And we do want to remove that term date on that first paragraph, just as it's defined in Article 19. Just so we avoid in the future forgetting to change the date.
We're okay with that.
Okay with that? The duration, again, it's defined in Article 19. For that's section 3, the duration of this contract.
So we want this language to be back on Article 19, but we're okay with removing the dates.
Yeah, it does say move to section Article 19. You okay with moving it
So
there?
it'll keep that
It'll
language about
stay.
the retroactive pay.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Well,
Okay.
yeah,
So it just says move the section all the way back. So
if you look at that Article 19. This agreement will be in effect from July 1 until June 30th. So the retroactive pay statement is not necessary. You would never start before July 1 on a teacher contract.
But here's what happened this last year. We needed that retroactive language because we didn't ratify it until after school started.
Absolutely. And
then it got board approved in September.
Yeah,
And so we needed that retroactive language in there.
but we would always, the term
But the
date
term date
was,
wasn't on
the
this one.
term date on this one was July 1, 2025. So we would have been required by the term of this contract to be retroactive, to pay you retroactive just by the duration of this contract itself. So the retroactive language wasn't necessary because the term was already defined retroactively. So I agree with what you're saying, but it wasn't essential. It's a duplication of that. The word retroactive is not necessary because the term precedes your contract starting date. So we would have had to go back and pay you from this first day of this contract term, which was July 1, 2025.
Which is before you even go back.
Which was before you even got your first paycheck. So it's built in, but if you would like it to stay and just be moved to that section,
Yeah,
we're okay with that.
I think that's what we had all agreed on, was keeping the language, but just moving it.
Okay.
And we were okay with removing the dates.
So you kind of changes it just a little bit, you just say taking out those dates on there, but keeping that retroactive wording in there.
Yes, yeah. Right,
Because in here it says, so instead of saying disagreement.
Instead of putting the first day of July, whatever, could we say the beginning of the school year?
But what?
But your term is
But-
defined July 1.
Because if
then
you
if
have
you're doing
teachers that are on
contract
daily
work
rate.
or, yeah,
And then,
Oh.
so you want it to be July first,
Okay,
because that's the first of our new fiscal year.
Right.
Anyway.
right.
Yeah,
yeah, we need that one.
I think it feels better to us to keep the retroactive
Okay.
language.
Yeah,
so if
I agree.
we, so,
I hear what you're saying, that
Mhm.
it's implied by the dates,
yeah, it's
but
not implied. It is written July 1. So it's not implied, it is there. Yeah, but if you would like us to keep it, we can move that sentence.
That feels like a trust issue, huh?
Yeah.
Is that kind of
is.
feeling like a
Is it
trust issue? Yeah,
We
and
can get
right,
rid of 2024 though, just from the first day of July
So
and
if,
leave it blank.
Oh, without the year.
Yeah,
Cause it's gonna always be July 1.
it would be always July 1
does that work?
and not retro in there.
until June 30 of the following year.
Until June, no, not the following year, it would be that one would
Oh,
have a
of
date
the-
because that's
it's
the
the end
end
of the
of your contract.
Right,
yeah,
we could say until the 30th day of June of the final year of the contract.
Yeah.
That way we're not updating this constantly. It's
no, we
just-
don't want to update it constantly.
Right.
But we want
We
you guys
want
to
this in
feel
place before next school year.
Yeah, we
We
do
want
want
it
you
in
to
place
feel-
before July 1.
that we're not trying to pull anything either. That,
Yeah.
but we want you to
Yeah.
feel like.
But
there
we don't
is
have to agree
trust
on
there.
this one tonight either. This could be the last piece we agree on, so that we don't have to include that language of retroactive, or it would just be set
It's just. in there.
whenever we have.
So let's. I'm gonna put this on hold.
So we'll put duration on hold and it's basically just the retro.
On hold due
Yeah.
to retroactive
Yeah,
language.
because we added that just because the last one, we added that. It wasn't part of the prior agreement.
Okay.
On page 5, we cannot exclude emergency hires. I know we have teachers that are in opposition of that, but they are for 1 year only, like a licensed educator. According to Montana.
What is their license? Is that a provisional?
It is not a
It's
provision.
an
It's emergency.
It's an
Okay. What
emergency,
class is
it's a
it?
zero. It's a
Oh.
It's a zero license.
So it's essentially just like a legal
Okay.
thing.
It's a 1 year license.
A provisional actually has a different number to it.
Yeah.
And that
Right,
only
that's
for
a
1 year.
five.
It's a 5A and a 5B. There are 2 provisional licenses.
We're okay with this one.
You're okay with that? Number 5, page 5, 5B. We just wanted to transition to, the BPS webpage. in terms of the school board policies. We did update that on the new Assembly platform with MTSBA. They're pretty searchable, accessible, far more
Is there
than
any way they
the
could be just emailed to the district at the beginning of the year?
entire manual.
It's like 300.
Yeah.
It's like
It's pretty, we don't want people to start printing.
like a three.
It's on the website.
And
I mean, I
everything's
have it on my
binder.
tab constantly open.
You can search it
Okay,
quite easy now.
I figured that this was a,
In fact, at the
Paper
beginning
thing.
of the year, I could
Yeah.
email people.
It's a 3-inch.
The
yeah,
link-
it's
The
a
link, that
3-inch
might be
binder.
better.
Right, there we go.
But it is right on the website. We have to have those published anyway.
Now, we had a question about this.
Yeah.
So if there are district policy changes, will we still be, sorry, getting old.
Oh,
I'm
like, oh.
And I don't have updated glasses yet, still being cheap and not getting them. If district policy changes occur, and then we still get to read those and then meet with our principals, you know how in the past, and then we had to sign it, turn it back in, will that still occur?
That
Or
hasn't
do we-
occurred for a while.
It hasn't, but that's why we're asking. So if there are changes, are we still gonna be updated on the adjustments?
So that's not part of this agreement, but Jen and I have looked through that because we've had the opportunity just to look through like Mary Johnson's work and John Rouse's work and then Karina's and so we've noticed those changes in different superintendents across the years. Is that something that the teachers would like? Is an
To be
updated,
notified?
well, to be notified, get an updated copy of those policies and signed off?
I don't necessarily think they need updated copies of the policies. But if there's policy changes, I think they would like to be aware of what's going on in the district. That way they don't feel.
So you're saying, so
Word.
even like not even on the board agenda page, like this has been adopted, those kinds of things, like, cause the summary goes out for every board meeting that says, so if we read through all of those policies, then the final one, it's adopted at the very bottom.
Only if there's changes.
So the changes are always posted at the board meetings, under
Right.
the review for, when they're read. Those changes are already posted for the public, but also, I mean, they're available to our teachers. And it's.
And I guess if they
we've
if
not-
they pertain to the teachers or the teachers need to be aware of it, that's what concerns me.
Okay.
Because then all of a sudden, they're getting slapped on the hand of something and they're not even aware of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being pulled in
Yeah.
and just talked to.
Well, the other part to this is if we have you sign them and everybody signs them and they don't read them, then they're, right,
but they're still responsible
Yeah,
because they signed
they
up.
signed off on
They
it.
did sign up.
So
Makes them responsible. But we read through those. We have staff meetings where we would read through those. You did that, didn't you? When you were principal in my building? Maybe that was
Did it?
after.
If
I remember
it
the beginning-
pertains specifically to us, but.
It was
no,
the beginning of the year. Maybe that was Sheila. Because it was at BES. We were all in the library and we went through board policy changes on a couple of things.
Maybe if it was something that was really a major change,
Right.
maybe, but like I've met with counselors on major changes, or we've
Right, we've worked together on
proposed
them.
changes,
Yeah.
but, it's always been just make sure they knew what those were about.
Right, that's all we're asking.
Yeah.
It's just letting people.
Well, my
know.
other thought is, those could be during department meetings and on, like, because those pertain to different people.
Right, absolutely.
So the awareness is there. It just, I mean, the access to them is always there.
Oh, yeah,
But
I'm okay with that.
the schedule of when we review them, so we did, the Board of Trustees just transitioned to, the MTSBA model policies. They aligned they're still BPS policies, but they align them to the model policy numbers. And so that they're much more easily searchable and, referenced. And so now we have, or will need to work on with the board developing an implementation plan of review of each section. So there's the thousands, 2000s, all the way up to 8000s policies.
Right.
So the ones that are pertaining mostly to our teachers are that 2000 for instruction, students, the 3,000, and then the 5,000 is personnel.
Right.
So when those ones are reviewed, we definitely could send out a
Just
notice.
get the-
And it's not every year, they'll be
Right.
on a review cycle.
Okay,
And if changes are made, we could send out a notice of the changes.
sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And maybe some
What?
staff are not aware that it takes 3 years to basically change.
Mhm.
And if people are wanting to be a part of that discussion,
Right.
that happens here at the board
Right,
meeting.
exactly. But we are okay with available for download.
Okay.
All district policies shall be available for download. So this isn't okay for us, the
Okay.
B only. C, however, we have an issue with. We would like to keep C.
The district has an issue with this. This is a two-party agreement.
Mhm.
And if the federation assumes the responsibility for interpretation, we believe that's not a two-party agreement.
It is a two-party agreement because we agree here. And the board was the one who designated. We assume the responsibility. So they're the ones who actually gave us the responsibility to interpret our contract. And that's actually coming up. I have a couple of issues with some language that we have that's being misinterpreted by principals. And it's not what the intention was because we discussed it last year when I'll just come out and say it, the prep times. The principals are telling, not all, some principals are telling their staff they have to ask permission to do stuff during their prep. And that's not what we wrote. That wasn't the intention at all. We just said to notify the principal you're leaving the building. Because we all agreed prep was in the building. That's fine. But some of us may need to run up here or we need to run home really quick to grab something that we forgot. I mean, there's just basic little things. I text Tony. She's like, okay, thank you for letting me know. Fine, but that's not the case in every building. There's some principals that are clamping down and very controlling and saying, you didn't ask permission.
Yeah, well, we can talk about
So
that
that's-
when we get there.
That's where this language,
But we aren't ready to settle on this. So
No.
we can move past this
Okay.
one,
So we're gonna
but
hold that.
we're gonna hold this one because
So we got 2 that we're holding.
notice of vacancies, we just wanted to update this one to reflect the current practice. So we do currently post it on the district's webpage. Even during the months of June, July, and August. During those months, it's updated on the webpage, the frontline system. Local newspaper, the cost burden of, publishing an advertisement in the local newspaper is significant in comparison to our webpage, and OPI is also free. So we've,
just reducing costs.
yeah, so we just.
We were curious about that. We wanted to know
Trying to reduce costs there.
A lot of people are not looking at
the paper.
the Glacier Reporter anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. The one,
Very pricey for a small
Yeah.
issue.
the few positions that we have been our colony positions, because many of them are coming right out of Cut Bank, who are looking at the Glacier Reporter, because it tends to be driven towards that
Right.
community.
That audience.
Yeah. So,
And I think if anything, we're running them through the classified.
and
Where's it?
those we actually, did post an ad, but we have run them through the classifieds before.
So are you guys? So you're wanting to get rid of all that language?
Just adding that on the district's webpage, just to clear that up. And then except during June, July, and August, during these months when school is not in session, such vacancies shall be advertised in local newspaper.
Can we just get rid of?
I don't know why you went up and I keep OPI in district.
Right,
So-
that's,
Yeah.
well, district webpage is up above, but could we add OPI to that as well?
Yeah,
Because,
We're gonna use, district webpage, OPI, frontline.
Yeah. so we actually
Year
just
round.
need to put OPI, right?
Yeah.
Because district webpage is already up above.
right, From,
District
OPI.
email distribution and then OPI.
yes,
Are you okay with those three?
I'm okay with that,
Okay. The rest of the language we can remove.
yes. And then, well, I don't want to remove anything. But Bev, are you okay with it during August? There need not to be 10 working days. This is the one that this affects you the most. Because you're the one doing this.
I mean, we would
I mean,
like,
we want to help you.
we would like not to have to do that,
The
but
purpose of this is to help students and get teachers in place for
Right.
the first day of school. So yes, it's a burden on Bev, but it is to place teachers in classrooms for
In a
the
timely
first day
manner.
of school.
Right,
So we want to serve students well through this agreement,
right,
not
absolutely.
serve the staff of the district well. We have to find that balance. It's
Yeah.
about serving students
Okay.
well.
Because
And
that
that's the
tends to
purpose
crunch
of
time.
this.
But no, my point is, it says during August, why not put it June, July, August?
So,
In that spot?
Oh,
Not,
to like get people.
not, you don't need to do the
faster
10
throughout
working
the
day.
summer.
we actually have a good system and
Okay.
plan in terms of the hiring process, or at least what was implemented, or what we're working to implement this year.
Right.
So we feel like we're able to utilize our board agenda as well during
Okay.
those summer months. It just, when we get down to that August month,
Crunch time.
it's really about getting teachers
I'm
hired.
just thinking, you might want June and July is crunch time too. Is the 10 working day, is that just in our contract or is that a law, state law?
It's our operating procedures for hiring practices. And it could be a component of that hiring policy. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
I'm just wondering where that came from. Curious. We're okay with the 4. Good. We actually have some, we didn't print them. We'll bring them the next time. We have some title adjustments too that we want to add to help make it a little bit more cohesive and readable when people are searching for stuff. So we'll bring those to the next one.
We are okay, whatever,
With heading and title changes.
whatever, organizational changes, we want to look at that. It's
Right.
really hard for us to find things. Jen and I are looking through this document all the time. It's hard for us to find things. If it's hard for us to find things, it's hard for our principals to find things.
And staff.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so the
Right.
organization
I
of
just kind of
it.
know where things
We
are.
agree, we
Just
agree
call me, I'll tell you.
that it can be organized well, or better. So yes, we would be glad to look at those. Number 5, are you okay with updating that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the next one we wanted to hold on as well.
Okay. Okay.
Page 8. Mhm.
Yeah, we almost came to fisticuffs on that one.
Okay. I was not prepared to fight, so, yeah.
I am.
We'll put it.
I'll take it. I'll take you to the mat.
Leg wrestle, leg wrestle.
You do know that reference, right?
Well, yeah.
Oh, my God.
No, I know taken to the mattresses.
Okay.
That's
All right.
Godfather.
Godfather. Okay.
David, I know that one.
The baby knows it over here.
Number or page 9, 6A.
This one is on hold as well.
Okay.
Are we gonna go back and discuss this at all?
Oh,
Oh, What?
Go back to
Page
page 8.
8.
The days.
Yes.
Oh, you want to discuss it?
We want to know what's going on so far. Like, we know you guys submitted stuff to the staff. What came out of those Wednesday PD meetings, district
Think
wide?
tanks.
Yeah,
How does that have to do with page 8?
because this is the school year
School
days.
year and days.
Oh, but you're talking about here, not,
Yes.
not.
She was looking
I
under.
was looking
Oh,
under-
not confused.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't clear on that.
Yeah, we had think tanks about that.
Didn't you see what I was pointing to? Come on, Rebecca.
So the think tank was not the survey.
Okay.
The reason why the think tank started as it did, just with the district leadership team and the directors, is we were just trying to get, okay, what would be some positives? What are gonna be some questions our staff have, or some negatives and drawbacks regarding students? What are gonna be some things that we need to plan, prepare for, answer? So that's where the think tank started. When I shared that information to the board, and Lockley had requested that information go out, the intent was always to have a survey, and we did develop a survey. And so what's coming back from the think tanks are all of those questions
That we had in the survey.
that we have in the survey. And so, yeah, they're wanting to know, what's our schedule gonna look like? If we do adopt it, what are we gonna do for,
The
to feed
tribe.
kids on Friday? Or how are we gonna coordinate with the tribe?
Right.
All of those types of questions are coming out of the think tank. So
Okay.
it'll come back to the board at the next meeting in terms of information, just really as information.
Okay.
And then they'll have to make a decision, do they want that survey to go out?
Okay.
Now, can we answer any of those questions? No, we really can't. We have to define, the board of trustees would have to define. One, as I said before, it has to be a policy change first. It's in policy boundaries of school. They also have to define a purpose. Many schools that adopted a 4-day school week initially adopted it to cut costs. It has not proven to cut costs for school districts. Those that adopted it initially to cut costs, cut classified employees down to 32 hours. And so that's a concern. Half of our employees of the district are classified employees. So if our district chose to do it as a cost savings, then that would be concerning for at least 50% of our staff. That's may not be our reason for doing it. It may be other reasons. So it has to be decided what's our actual purpose. What's our purpose? The reality is you did see our budget. It can't cost us more.
Right.
And that's the reality, is it really could. Because all along, the discussions have been in every building. And when you look through the think tank, information is, we could do this on Friday for kids, and we could do this on Friday, and we could contract people to do this. And when we do that, it's gonna cost us that much more money to serve kids 5 days a week. So we have to be really mindful. Yeah, we have to be really mindful of the purpose and really clear that we have to do it without expanding our budget exponentially. Because that's what it has done for some districts.
So when we look at J, which means 180 days, that's what the policy says? So in the event of let's say we went ahead and just approved this whole thing, if they change the policy, then this has to change.
Right, we need to.
No. The contract supersedes policy. It goes federal law, state law, contract, policy.
So then we
So
wouldn't.
We'd have to amend.
revisit.
Yeah, we do. We would have to amend. The collective bargaining agreement does supersede.
Yeah.
Policy. So then, one of the things is, so looking at, just to give you a very clear timeline. So The DLT, the work that I asked them to do starting last fall, we have 4 proposed calendars that are ready to go to the calendar committee. At any point, the board decides that, yes, we want to really consider a 4-day school week. We have
She's like, what?
we have instructional schedules for every building to ensure we meet our accreditation hours
Right.
in every building at every grade level, all ready to go for next school year, if we decide to do that. It takes 3 readings for our district to change policy. So what really could happen is at the end of March meeting, March 26th, the board could make a decision for that survey to go out. The results could come back to that very end of April meeting, if they decide the cutoff is before that, or it could come back to the 1st of May meeting. The results could be shared. That could potentially be the first reading of a policy change if they want to pursue that. Then we could do a second reading at the end of May with the final reading the first part of June. We would be prepared if that's the direction that the board chooses to go to make that decision for next school year about that time.
Sounds good. So we will know probably by the end of April.
May.
Yeah, probably by the end of May. Yeah.
For I and J.
Yeah.
Could you share a little bit about like the I imagine there's a reason why this wasn't brought to the board until now,
It's been brought to the board before.
but like it's been more than a year.
No, and so, well, yeah, it was about a year ago, but it did take us some planning time to really consider it. I did place it on some information, so I sent them emails. So I do correspond with the board through giving them information outside of a board meeting. So I have given them information throughout the course of the fall in regard to information that has come up regarding the 4-day school week for them to review. So the big bulk of the information to move forward with the decision just did come up at the last board meeting, but they have been receiving information all fall. So, and through the winter. And it did take us some time. I mean, we have to,
There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah.
again, we are a school district. We have to serve students' needs and meet accreditation requirements. And so that we had to ensure that we really could meet the accreditation requirements and develop a healthy schedule to meet our students.
On those schedules, did you notice? Like I had a teacher approach me and she did a lot of research on different things that they did in different districts. And it was kind of interesting actually. But of those 4 schedules that were proposed, does it extend our school year?
No,
Okay.
did not.
no,
But it extended the day.
not actually by a lot. That was part of our discussion. This is real for our community. Head Start opens at 7:30. We can't require staff to be here at 7:30
Sure.
if the tribe isn't going to open sooner than that. If our childcare can't be open sooner than that. So we talked about that. Is it realistic to start or have employees start as early as 7:30? And we don't think for certified staff, 7:30 is a good start time. Our classified employees are used to starting at 7:30. They're already on that schedule. So we thought a more realistic schedule for certified employees would be 7:45. Another consideration is I don't feel that it's fair for a certified staff to walk in at 7:45 and be expected to have students with them at 7:45. We have to give some time. I gotta take my coat off. I've got to get my computer out. I've got to get my projector
Lights on.
set up for the day. I've got to find my teacher's manual for the day and take a breath
Mhm.
before I, meet students. And so we did allow for some time so that instruction didn't start at 7:45. And so our typical schedules started at about 7:55. And the latest one was the high school, which extended only to about 4:10. It may have gone to 4:15. And so the instructional day.
Mhm.
And so then we would have to make adjustments on
What
what
is
the
it,
end of
3:45
the,
right now?
what the end of the teacher day would look like.
3:40.
So,
3:40? That's an extra 30 minutes.
yeah.
All right.
So we did try, and we did, based on this negotiated agreement, we did try to still keep the 45-minute prep period. The 45-minute lunch period. But as you had asked me at the last board meeting, how did Cut Bank do theirs? That's how they did theirs.
Right.
They shortened their
Reduced.
prep and they shortened their lunch door.
Right.
And so that may be something that we need to consider too.
We'll talk about that.
And so it sounds like we're looking at like an 8.5-hour day approximately.
Maybe. Yeah.
Depending on which ones they're. About that.
And then were there Fridays included on those monthly schedules?
There were some Fridays, we
If
did,
there was a holiday on a
Friday.
Monday, then the 4-day would be.
yeah. But we also
Yeah.
talked about maybe like a PD Friday or, or us.
couple of them
A couple
had
of
like a
Fridays where
built-in.
students were on site, for a Friday too. So there
Seems
was,
like most schools are doing at least one or two Fridays where
Yeah.
students are- or
there,
students are
there are very few schools that are on a just
like flat
full
out
4-day.
doors shuttered on
Yeah,
Fridays.
yeah.
Yeah.
There, it's more of the most of them are on a
Did
modified.
anybody tell you guys about Plains, what they do?
No,
So their first semester, they front load and they go 5 days a week the first semester. And then, because all the Monday holidays are typically in the fall. And then come spring, when everybody's hitting the burnout phase, they flip to a 4-day.
Well, and we kind of took a little, this month has been pretty much a 4-day except for.
Right, yeah,
this
little
week.
pilot project.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
That's kind of
it's a little pilot, yeah. Yeah.
But there are 3 or 4 different calendars and one of them is kind of way different than the other ones in terms of like a Friday PD or and then moving those days. And I think all of them moved, if there was a Friday or any day during that week that was a holiday or any day off, then they just moved those other days around it.
Right.
Easy that way. Okay, interesting.
So
Yeah, we were
that's-
curious how it was going.
Yeah, thanks for.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks for clarifying that we weren't gonna talk about that.
So, are you saying the school year days and the length of the school year, are we saying anything about that?
We're not, that
okay.
was just our
We
discussion.
just move forward with it and then go back and revisit everything.
We'll have to amend it if it changes
Okay,
in June.
okay.
Yeah. All right, is that an okay
Me.
stopping place?
I think that.
For
makes
Yes.
sense, yeah.
May 16th, we would maybe do an amendment.
No,
That sounded evil.
Right, it would be.
Well, she rolled her eyes at me, that's what I was
all about.
Because Violet rolled her eyes at me. Okay, back to business, sorry.
All right, so we will stop here
Okay,
and we'll pick up on April 1st on the insurance part.
sounds good.
meeting and payment.
So I'm going to invite our insurance committee to that one.
Okay.
Are we gonna discuss insurance at that point?
I don't think we should.
I don't think we should,
Okay.
there,
All right.
and just to be really straightforward, the STARS Act, 12 years out
Right,
is a lot for us to look at.
okay,
And it's based on 2 factors, one of us keeping our base pay at a certain rate, the other one keeping it 70% of the average teacher pay.
right,
And so for us, on the district side, we may want to consider paying more of a health insurance benefit and not so much salary at a certain point.
okay.
And so
Have you guys looked at the state's school plan at all?
they
Is
don't,
there progress with that?
no, We,
I'll find out tomorrow. We
Yeah.
can talk about that one tomorrow.
yeah, so Sandy's going to Masco, but
Because that
everything,
would significantly
everything that-
reduce.
everything I've heard is no.
Oh,
There's
really?
no progress,
Oh, no, they were making good progress for a while.
so.
Shoot, that's probably why I haven't heard anything.
I heard that.
That was last
So
year.
did I.
But I haven't heard
You voted
anything.
for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I voted for him twice.
Changing
differently.
That's sitting there.
Oh, it's one of those
They
cheating
allowed
votes.
it to build it. They just needed to build it. Cause they passed it,
Yeah, it was passed. They just
Right.
had to develop the system.
right? And there's no progress for development.
Where's
They
like
hired somebody to do it.
the most up-to-date information about the STARS Act?
The most up-to-date information is going to be on the legislative webpage.
Right.
And it was up for vote this afternoon, right?
Oh,
Oh, is that right?
Mhm.
Oh, interesting.
And the 2 astronauts landed. If
Oh,
anyone was keeping up with that.
It seemed to have
I
pretty good
wonder if
momentum, though, right?
Landed
Yeah,
safely.
yeah,
but
it-
yeah,
most
where-
likely
no, just kidding.
The hell is that?
Okay, so we just want to be ready for it when it does.
gotcha. Thank you.
okay, we probably want to turn our recording on.
House Bill 253 started that. Was supposed to be this afternoon. Nada? Nothing?
I haven't heard anything.
Oh,